Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. And yesterday I featured a song by the Beatles, and I've got my first double shot by them on my list. I got a couple more coming up later. But anyway, yeah, yesterday I featured Maxwell's Silverhammer at number 2638. Today I'm featuring the song Taxman, which was released on the Revolver album. It wasn't released as a single, but it came out in 1966. And here's the album Revolver, which it came off of. And here's a picture of the Beatles around that time, 1966. And I like this song. It's kind of an unusual song because for one thing, it was I think it was the first Beatles song written by George Harrison. Most of the Beatles songs, as I think you guys all know, were written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. This one was primarily written by George Harrison. I think John Lennon helped with a few of the lines, but anyway, the song is a protest song, as you can probably tell by listening to the lyrics. I mean, and even the title. I mean, I guess it was kind of what was really going on with the Beatles at that time. I mean, they were criticizing the tax structure in the UK when this song came out. They had to pay 95% income tax, which was, I guess, that was the highest tax bracket at that time in the UK. For the wealthiest people. And it was so much tax for them that I think a couple of them were even going bankrupt. I'm not sure which ones, but it was taking a toll on the Beatles, which is a little hard to believe because they were such successful musicians and they were amazingly rich and, deservedly so, just because they were so talented and so popular. And, I don't know the details that much, but it's a very satirical song. Obviously, I mean, it's saying there's one for you, 19 for me. The song's sang from the point of view of the tax man who's collecting taxes. He's saying, if you don't ask me what I want it for, if you don't want to pay more, I'm going to tax everything you're using, the heat, the street. There's no way you can get away from me. I'm going to take as much money as I can, basically. That's kind of the message of the song. So I think you get the idea. And there's one more thing I think I should say about it. They mention a couple pretty famous politicians from the UK. They mention the guy on the left, Harold Wilson. He apparently was prime minister of the UK when the song came out. He was the prime minister from 1965 to 1970, I guess, right after Winston Churchill passed. And the guy on the right, and also the other thing I should say about Harold Wilson was that he was I guess he was in charge of the Labour Party. And I guess he was trying to restructure the tax structure in England. And I guess he was in favor of, the workers. And so he wanted, the workers to be compensated more by taxing the rich. And in all fairness, it's kind of, I mean, I'll get into this more later, but the guy on the right was Ted Heath. He was the leader of the Conservative Party at the same time from 1965 to 1970. I'm not an expert on British politics. I just looked this stuff up today, actually. But yeah, an interesting fact is that Heath became prime minister right after Wilson from 1970 to 74, I guess. And then actually, Wilson became PM again, 74 to 76. I don't know exactly what was going on. I'm pretty sure Margaret Thatcher became PM right after him. So it seems like the British politics was pretty conservative from what I can see. And I guess I can understand why so many young people in England were so discontent with a lot of what was going on. It seems like a lot of the politics wasn't really working in their favor, though I don't know the details, like I said. And you know, uh, I know that it's probably better in general if I avoid politics on this channel. I've gotten in trouble for it in the past, but I don't think taxes are a bad thing in general. I mean, one thing I've seen going on in the United States ever since the 1980s, ever since Reagan, I just see that, at least the Republicans in the United States, which is the conservative party here, their big thing has been less taxes. And I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, I think taxes can be very good. I mean, one thing you have to realize is that in the mid 20th century, the tax rate on the rich in the United States was as high as 91%. And as far as I know, I don't think too many people were complaining about it that time. And it was good because we were getting a lot of services. I mean, the government was doing a lot of good things for this country, for a long time. And, they were supporting public education and health care. And, they even helped us get to the moon. And, now the government's not doing shit for us because we're not paying taxes. People don't want to pay taxes, and we're not getting anything. And I realize the government has to be accountable. I know all that. I mean, if you want to know more about this, I have a political channel. I actually have a video I made about why I think we should be paying more taxes, but 95% is too much. I mean, it has to be structured in a smart way. And another thing I guess I'll just say about this before I finish, I don't think income taxes are good. I think we should have more something like a fair tax. I mean, I heard that in the United States alone, there's something like $250 billion a year wasted just on income tax collection. Because our income tax laws are so complicated and people have to hire accountants to pay their taxes. So why not just, impose a sales tax on good, graduated sales tax? I think that would be much simpler. I mean, that's just my opinion. You guys might have your own, but I don't think taxes are a bad thing, as long as the government's accountable. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the Beatles believed. Maybe they had a different opinion about it. I know that, um, I guess in particular George was not happy with the high taxes. I don't think John was either. I'm pretty sure that was one reason why he decided to move to the United States and ended up getting murdered here, unfortunately. But anyway, enough of that. So anyway, that completes my video for today on Taxman by the Beatles. Thank you for watching. Um, Pay your taxes. Help the government. Let's just hope we have an accountable government in the future. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.